Hello and welcome. I am Megan Fowler of The Aligned Cycle, and today we're going to talk about how you can experience more flow every day. We're going to dive into your hormonal cycle and what's happening, and just some of the ways that your hormonal changes and your different phases impact everything. But we're not going to cover everything, we're just going to give you an overview. So, first, phase one of the Aligned Cycle is your hormonal low. And this is going to happen just a couple days before your period starts. And you've probably noticed before that you'll experience maybe some rough days, maybe some heightened emotions, maybe some extra frustration or relationship issues. And then a day or two later, your period begins, and you're like, oh, that was what that was all about. Okay, so in phase one, your hormones plummet, they bottom out. And this happens again just a couple days, or it intensifies and really hits a low just a few days before your cycle starts, either 1 or 2 days approximately. And it continues a couple days, maybe 1 or 2 days, maybe 3 days into your cycle. So on average, it's about a 4 day window. And during this time, you don't want to do everything. You are frustrated. Maybe you're easily overwhelmed. Um, Maybe you're experiencing physical symptoms during this time, possibly cramping or hormonal headache um, or just fatigue and depletion, and you're kind of just feeling it through your body with your emotions. And this time of your cycle is a great time to project out, plan ahead, have an idea when it's going to hit, and don't overload yourself. This is a kind of time where you want a lighter to-do list. Okay, so you don't want to put all the things on the list here. You don't want a lot of meetings typically, because it just feels a lot better to have a little bit more flexibility in how you are interacting and what your schedule looks like exactly in this time. So lighten your load in your hormonal low. And then in about 3 days into your cycle, your estrogen starts to rise. And this is a slow rise. Okay. Estrogen is going to, even just little bits of estrogen are going to improve your mood. So it's almost sometimes like you're coming out of a fog, right? So you're in this low and kind of foggy and not feeling like you have that pep in your step, and then slowly, like, okay, it's passing, I'm feeling better. So your energy starts to increase, your mood starts to improve. Sometimes symptoms are going away, the physical symptoms you experience. Sometimes they take a little longer depending on your unique symptoms and what's going on. But this is a great time to just re-engage with the things that maybe you decided to just kind of shelve for a day or two or 3 or 4 and say, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to give myself some space and grace in this time. But then you have the energy again to re-engage in phase two. So you can make plans, you can try something new, you can, a new routine or a new habit that you're interested in implementing, or a new project. So you kind of come out of that hormonal low. And that usually feels really good to re-engage and to start something new and fresh, because that's what's kind of happening. You're having a new fresh part of your cycle. Sometimes this is likened to like the spring season, where everything is just kind of reawakening. And then you move into phase three. So your estrogen was slowly rising. You got these little bits, kind of incremental increases. And then you go into phase three, and this is your window of fertility. So if you've charted your cycle, this is the time where, if you're tracking your hormones, you see estrogen increasing. If you are checking your cervical mucus, which is a massive and really important simple indicator of your fertility, you're going to notice, that mucus start to be present, and then it increases along with the increasing estrogen. And so you get more of a sharp increase in estrogen in this time, and then you reach a peak just before ovulation. And you also get a dose of testosterone. And so this combo of estrogen really increasing and then testosterone will help you to feel even more energetic, more optimistic. The testosterone will boost your risk-taking comfort level, or your ability to take risks. You're going to be more focused on the external. So that might mean you might enjoy doing something social. You might enjoy just going out and being out, and not, being at home doesn't really feel as good to you in this time. That's possible. Networking, time with friends, time with family, all of that, whether, or maybe even videos, if you record videos or you like to show up live on in different platforms, that can be a great time for that, because estrogen is also, increasing your communication skills. So you can communicate more clearly. You're more inclined to enjoy that process of communicating in this phase. You're also, not only are you feeling good, but you're also looking good. So estrogen is clearing your skin. It is making your face look more symmetrical. It is just making you feel better and look better, and it's kind of a cycle that happens right there. You put on your outfit, you're like, oh, this looks good, and then you feel better, and then you kind of project that, etc. So phase 3 can be a great time for many women. Now, some women say like this is not a great time for them, and they might have hormonal differences that we'll probably get into another day, or their body relates to the hormones differently. There's a couple different ways that can go. But a lot of women feel great in their phase 3. And then we move into phase 4. So you ovulate, and then you have essentially estrogen takes an immediate dip right after ovulation. You do get a little boost of it, and maybe I can put the video in or the image in for there. So maybe you can see what's happening. I have a rough graphic that I created to show you what's happening hormonally. So after ovulation, estrogen goes down a bit, and then you get another little surge of estrogen in a few days, and then it kind of goes back down again. But what takes over as the dominant hormone in this phase is progesterone. So your progesterone is really the hormone of phase 4, also sometimes essentially called the luteal phase. And progesterone shifts your demeanor from this outgoing, optimistic to more of like a sense of calm, more of an immediate surrounding. There's a little bit more of a focused energy that kind of comes with that too, instead of like the high energy and like the what's out here and I want to like go and do and see and be seen. There's more of like okay, like I can focus on this, I can dig into this. And so that's kind of what happens there. So some great tasks in this time are to finish out projects, or to maybe connect with like smaller groups of people might feel really nice in this time, instead of like all the people or people who are closer to you. You may not feel as inclined to expand your circle or network. Now, doesn't mean you can't do it, right? You can absolutely do it, but you might find yourself craving a little bit more familiarity, a little bit more intimacy in your relationships. And then phase 4 goes until just again a couple days before the new cycle starts, when the testosterone, right, your estrogen's already fallen and it's lower, and then the progesterone will also then fall and kind of become or leave you, I don't want to say leave you, but that's essentially what happens, leaves you in a hormonal low just for a few days to signal the start of the new cycle. If you want to know more, I've got a guide, so you can print it off and you can reference it, and you can see the link below.